The stories we tell ourselves are written quietly, one thought at a time. Sometimes they begin with a disappointment, sometimes with a moment we misunderstood, sometimes with words we never questioned. Eventually, the story becomes so familiar, we stop asking whether it is true. Sometimes all it takes is one moment for us to begin believing something about ourselves. And the stories we believe have a way of becoming the lives we expect to live.
I really thought this one felt different. We had a good conversation. They seemed genuinely interested. Maybe I read too much into it. I don't know. Maybe I just keep getting my hopes up. You know, after a while, you stop wondering what went wrong. You just start expecting the email. Well, at least I gave it my best. I just wish my best felt like it was enough sometimes.
Hello, may I speak with Marcus?
This is Marcus.
I wanted to thank you again for taking the time to interview with us. I know you've already received our email, but I wanted to call you personally because I didn't want our decision to be the last thing you remembered about your interview. You were thoughtful, professional, genuinely kind, and a pleasure to speak with. Everyone who met you enjoyed getting to know you. This was an incredibly difficult decision, and it ultimately came down to experience, not your character, your ability, or your potential. Unfortunately, we've decided to move forward with another candidate. I truly hope you don't let this discourage you. I believe you're going to make a real difference wherever you end up. Thank you again, Marcus, and I sincerely wish you all the best.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Sometimes a single sentence doesn't change your life. It changes the story you've been telling yourself about it. And once that story begins to change, you start to see yourself in the world around you differently. Not every story grows from pain. Sometimes it begins to change because someone sees us when we thought we had become invisible.
Janine? The usual?
I almost didn't come in today. I guess I didn't think it would make much of a difference. Funny. One familiar face, one simple question. And somehow the day feels a little lighter. Maybe we're all carrying more than anyone else can see. Maybe the smallest moments matter more than we realize.
We often imagine that change begins with extraordinary moments. More often, it begins with ordinary people choosing to see one another. A kind word, offered without expectation, has a way of reminding us that we matter. The smallest acts are often the easiest to forget, except by the person who needed them most. Sometimes a few ordinary words become extraordinary to someone else.
Okay. Leadership meeting at 9. Check in with Maya before that. She seemed a little overwhelmed yesterday. Move the budget review to this afternoon. No need to rush the team through it. Daniel has his presentation at 11. Make sure he knows I've got his back. What else? Approvals before lunch, client call at 2, and I promised I'd actually take a lunch today. We'll see how that goes. Oh, and send Priya those notes. Not correction, just a few thoughts. She did good work. Okay. One thing at a time. Today is going to be a good day.
Excuse me, I just wanted to thank you for holding the elevator for me last week. I'd been having a really difficult week, and that small act of kindness meant more than you probably realize.
Thank you for telling me.
Kindness has a quiet way of traveling further than we ever expect. Long after the moment has passed, its impact can remain, carried in memory, returned in gratitude, and passed on to someone else. We rarely know how much another person is carrying, or how deeply a simple act can reach. What feels ordinary to us may become unforgettable to someone else. trust isn't always earned over years. Sometimes it appears in a single, unexpected moment. And sometimes someone else sees something in us before we ever do.
Just get through the day. That's all. Keep moving. Mind your business. Don't expect too much from anybody. Everybody's got their own thing going on anyway. Sometimes I wonder when everything got so distant. You pass hundreds of people every day and nobody really sees anybody. Ah well, keep moving.
Thank you. That was really kind of you.
You're welcome.
The stories we believe shape the choices we make. And sometimes, without realizing it, a changed heart becomes a changed action. What we receive is often what we begin to give away. Every act of kindness has the potential to become the beginning of another story, one that continues through people we'll never meet and moments we'll never witness. The voice we hear most often is our own. Maybe confidence isn't becoming someone new. Maybe it's finally believing something different about the person we've always been.
You're not ready. What if you forget everything? What if they realize you're not as good as they think you are? No, that's not true. I've prepared for this. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be present. I know what I know. That's enough. Let's go.
Maybe the first story worth changing is the one we tell ourselves. Every day we tell ourselves a story about who we are. Sometimes that story limits us. Sometimes it sets us free. The world may not change overnight, but when the story changes, so can we. And perhaps that's how change has always begun. Not with extraordinary people doing extraordinary things, but with ordinary people choosing to believe something better about themselves, and then living as though it were true.